The discovery and legacy of the Dead Sea Scrolls. A chance encounter in the desert. The sun was unforgiving over the Judean Desert in 1947. Khalil al-Majub, known as Kando, a Bedouin shepherd, was looking for a lost goat. His sandals stirred up the dust along the rocky paths near the cliffs of Qumran. He called out, his voice echoing off the barren landscape. "Ya Hanzaleh!" His voice carried no reply, only the desolate whisper of the wind through the canyons. Frustrated, Khalil bent down to pick up a smooth stone and hurled it toward a dark crevice in the rock. The stone disappeared into the void, and an unfamiliar sound followed, a hollow, earthen crack. Curious, Khalil climbed toward the crevice. It wasn't easy. The rocks were sharp, the path treacherous. He finally wedged himself into the narrow opening, a beam of sunlight illuminating what appeared to be tall clay jars standing in stillness, as though guardians of a forgotten time. When he reached into one, his hand emerged clutching brittle, discolored leather scrolls. Could these be treasure? He muttered to himself. Excited and nervous, Khalil stuffed one into his satchel and descended quickly to show his cousin Juma. "This is old," Juma observed, "but who will pay for such things?" "Let us take it to Kando," Khalil replied, his voice filled with anticipation. "He will know what to do." By the time the scrolls found their way to Kando, an antiquities dealer in Bethlehem, they had already been examined and dismissed by local merchants. "Nothing but worthless parchment," one dealer sneered. Kando, however, was intrigued. The text was written in an unfamiliar script that looked ancient, possibly Aramaic or Hebrew. He took the scrolls to Mar Athanasius Yeshua Samuel, a Syrian Orthodox archbishop with a passion for antiquities. In a dimly lit room filled with incense smoke, Kando spread the scrolls on a table. "These are remarkable," said Mar Samuel, tracing a finger over the faded letters. "They could be biblical." "But what are they worth?" Kando interjected. Mar Samuel hesitated. "Perhaps their value cannot be measured in dinars alone. Let me consult scholars in Jerusalem." Word spread quickly among scholars at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. Professor Eliezer Sukenik was one of the first to hear of the find. His hands trembled as he examined a fragment delivered to him under clandestine circumstances. "This script is from the Second Temple period," he whispered to his assistant. "Perhaps earlier." In 1948, amid the chaos of the Arab-Israeli War, Sukenik risked his life to acquire more scrolls. In one daring escapade, he traveled through enemy territory disguised as an Arab merchant. The scrolls were smuggled back to Jerusalem in burlap sacks, their secrets still tightly held within their fragile folds. When he unrolled them in his study, he read aloud, "Blessed is the Lord who shows mercy to his people. This," he declared, "is older than anything we've ever seen." By the 1950s, the scrolls were the focus of fierce international intrigue. Early announcements about their significance had scholars around the world clamoring for access. Yet, the fragments remained in the hands of a small group of scholars who jealously guarded them. Father Roland Deveau, a Dominican priest, led the official excavation of Qumran. He and his team unearthed more scrolls, along with pottery, tools, and ruins that hinted at a monastic community called the Essenes. These scrolls will rewrite the history of Judaism and early Christianity, Deveau told his colleagues during a meeting at the École Biblique in Jerusalem. One of them, a young American scholar named John Allegro, pressed him. "Then why keep them locked away? Scholars around the world should study them." Devoe's expression darkened. "Patience, Allegro. These texts are delicate, both physically and theologically. If they are misinterpreted—" "You mean if they challenge the Church's authority?" Allegro interrupted. The room fell silent. Devoe's glare was cold. "Let us proceed carefully." By the 1960s, rumors of suppressed discoveries began to circulate. Allegro, increasingly alienated from his colleagues, published sensational claims suggesting the scrolls revealed the origins of Christianity as a mystery cult. His book was dismissed by many as speculative, but it fueled public fascination. Meanwhile, Father Deveau and his team meticulously catalogued the fragments in private. The process was painstakingly slow, as scholars debated translations and interpretations. Some believed the texts were the library of an Essene community, while others thought they had been hidden by refugees fleeing the Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 CE. In one heated discussion, Defoe exclaimed, "We must preserve the integrity of these texts. They are not mere curiosities for journalists or amateurs." "But history belongs to everyone," retorted Yigael Yadin, Sukenik's son and a prominent archaeologist who had acquired some scrolls for the newly established Israel Museum. As decades passed, frustration mounted over the slow release of the scrolls. In the 1980s, technological advances allowed researchers to piece together fragments using infrared imaging, yet access remained restricted. In 1991, two maverick scholars, Robert Eisenman and Michael Wise, circumvented the academic monopoly by publishing a facsimile edition of the scrolls. Their defiance caused an uproar. "How dare they violate decades of scholarly protocol?" thundered a senior academic at a conference. "They dared because you hoarded the knowledge," replied an audience member. The room erupted in applause. Today, the Dead Sea Scrolls are recognized as one of the most significant archaeological finds of the 20th century. They include some of the oldest known copies of the Hebrew Bible, as well as apocryphal texts and community rules that offer a window into Jewish life during the Second Temple period. As visitors stream through the Shrine of the Book in Jerusalem, where the scrolls are now housed, a tour guide explains, "These scrolls connect us to a time when the foundations of our faiths were laid." In a quiet corner, a young scholar examines a digital reproduction, marveling at the ancient script. "They were hidden for centuries," she murmurs. "Perhaps it took this long for the world to be ready for them." And so the scrolls continue their journey, whispering secrets from the sands of Qumran to all who seek their wisdom. Appendix: Fragmentary sayings from the Dead Sea Scrolls. The following are selected fragments from the Dead Sea Scrolls. These excerpts, though incomplete, reveal glimpses of the spiritual, ethical, and communal life of the Essenes and the broader Jewish context during the Second Temple period. 1QH, Hodayot or Thanksgiving Hymns. I give thanks to you, O Lord, for you have placed my feet on the path of righteousness, guiding me by your truth in the face of many adversities. My soul exults in your mercy, for you have delivered me from the pit and strengthened me against the wicked. You have made me a vessel of your spirit, and through your wisdom I understand the mysteries of your works. Who among men can comprehend your ways? 1QS, the community rule. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners. He shall meditate on the Lord day and night, and it shall be his guide. Those who enter the covenant shall separate themselves from all unrighteousness, and walk blamelessly before the Lord. They shall love their neighbors as themselves and hold fast to the truth in their hearts. Let there be no deceit in their mouths, nor pride in their hearts, for the Lord loves humility and wisdom. 4. Q 521, the Messianic Apocalypse. The heavens and the earth shall listen to his Messiah, and all that is in them shall not turn away from the commandments of the Holy One. He will heal the wounded, revive the dead, and proclaim good news to the poor. He will open the eyes of the blind, and the Lord will do glorious things for his people. Justice shall flow like a river, and peace like an everlasting stream. 4QMMT, some works of the law. We have written to you some of the works of the law, which we think are good for you and for your people. Consider these matters and seek the truth with all your heart. Separate yourselves from the impurity of the nations, for you are a holy people. Keep the appointed times and offer your sacrifices with a pure heart. 11Q13, the Melkisedek Scroll. And it shall come to pass in the year of Jubilee that Melkisedek will return to proclaim liberty to the captives. He shall atone for the sins of the children of light and bring them into the inheritance of righteousness. The assembly of the holy ones shall rejoice, for the dominion of Belial shall be no more. Truth and justice will be established forever under the authority of the Anointed One. 4Q Instruction, Sapiential Texts. Seek wisdom, all you who pursue knowledge, and let understanding be your guide. Do not follow the paths of folly, for they lead to destruction. The mysteries of creation are hidden from the proud, but revealed to the humble. Contemplate the works of God, and you will see his hand in all things. War Scroll 1 QM. The sons of light shall battle against the sons of darkness, and the war shall rage for many years. But the Lord will strengthen his chosen, and they will triumph through his power. Prepare the weapons of righteousness, for the day of vengeance is near. The wicked shall be swept away like chaff, and the kingdom of God shall endure forever. Damascus Document, CD. Turn to the Lord with all your heart and soul and walk in his ways. Do not stray to the right or the left, but remain steadfast in the covenant. The rebellious shall stumble in their wickedness, but the righteous shall flourish like a tree planted by streams of water. Closing reflection. These fragmentary sayings demonstrate the profound spiritual aspirations, communal ethos, and apocalyptic expectations of the community associated with the Dead Sea Scrolls. They resonate with themes of covenant faithfulness, eschatological hope, and the pursuit of divine wisdom, offering timeless insights into the human search for meaning and connection with the divine.